guys, another episode of Ask Rachel. I've got tons of new questions, and keep them coming, guys, because you are awesome. First off, Daniel. So I was wondering, how many hours a day do you play? And when you play a game, do you stick with one game or do parts of all kinds during your gameplay? How many hours a day do I play? Probably 8 to 12 hours. And then break it up with, of course, internet fun time. I usually like to stick to one game, but most of the time I'm actually playing two. Right now I'm playing several. I'm playing Darksiders, Dead Island, Sims Medieval Pirates and Noble Pack, and Catherine. I thought there was one other one in there I was playing as well. Well, Gears comes out, I think, in a week, so I'm going to be adding that. Oh, and I'm also playing The Baconing. So I'm kind of like jumping from all different games. But I also like it that way because then I kind of just get to play whatever I'm in the mood for. If I'm in the mood for fast action, I'll put in Dead Island. If I'm in the mood for something a little more laid back, I'll play Sims. So I kind of like having many different options. Khan asks, hey Rachel, I wanted to ask you, are you getting Battlefield 3, Gears 3, why or why not? I'm definitely getting Gears 3. Cannot wait for that game. I love Gears, mostly for the co-op or the campaign levels. I'm not really a big multiplayer or competitive gamer, but I am excited to play Horde and Beast mode. And Battlefield 3, not so much. I used to play Battlefield 3 very, very competitively back in the 1942 days. Like, I used to go to LAN parties overnight. I played in competitions. I mean, that was my game that I would really, really play competitively. I played Battlefield games so much I'm a little burnt out on it now. Battlefield 3 looks amazing, and I kind of wish I wasn't burnt out because I'd love to play it, but I probably won't be playing it right away. Got to give myself still some time to kind of stop playing for a while. Ross is asking if I've had any hands-on time with Deus Ex and what my thoughts of it were. Not yet. That game is definitely on my list of games that I must play as soon as possible. But like I said in the first question, I am playing, I think, 4 or 5 different games right now. I just don't have time for Deus Ex, but I definitely will get to it, and I'm excited to play it. I just don't have time right now. Sean says that I seem to know what I'm talking about. Thank you. So his question is, do you think we will see a big leap in the gaming in the decade to come as we have since the day of PS1? Do you feel that there is scope for much more advancement? What would you like the future of gaming to be? Honestly, I don't really see a huge breakthrough in gaming since we have in the PS1. I mean, their graphics are hitting like an all-time high, where we really can't go much more with it. Other companies are focusing on movement and camera controls. I really hope that's not the future of gaming. Call me old school, but I just want a controller and I want to sit on my couch. I don't want to be up and moving around when I'm playing my games, because I don't feel like any of those games actually respond the way they should, or they definitely don't respond the way a game responds with just a controller. I really hope that's not the future of gaming. But it's kind of like film, where with CG, we can really do anything, and we already have done anything, so there's not any real big jumps. Like, back in the day, we were using models and for movies, and we were, like, really using our imagination, but now that we can already replicate everything and do it photo quality, there's really nowhere else to go. So I am interested to where gaming can go in the future. I just don't think it will be a big of a jump as we saw with the PS1 to PS2, or definitely not as big as we saw from PS1 to now. I don't really see where it can go other than just this more gimmicky and 3D as we're already getting. Curly TY says, I've never read any of the Walking Dead graphic novels. Should I read them before watching the show? I prefer the graphic novels to the show. Yes, the first, I'd say 3 episodes of season 1 were amazing, but then they got completely sidetracked. The graphic novels already have so much substance, tons of characters, tons of locations, and I don't know why the show completely went off track of that, and why they're creating up their own locations, making up their own characters, when they already have so much to pull from. Why name yourself after a graphic novel, or after a book, or anything? Why name yourself after something that already exists if you're going to go completely off track of it? That's kind of where I felt like Dexter lost touch, was when they went off of the books and stopped using the books as reference. That's when the show kind of got really kitschy and silly. And I feel definitely the same way with Walking Dead show. it got away from the graphic novels, and that's when it just got stupid. Read the graphic novels. They're amazing. If I can also recommend another graphic novel that's amazing, is Y the Last Man. Try it out. It's really, really good. I heard they're making a show or a movie out of it. I hope not. I kind of don't like how every comic book is getting a movie now or a show. It's kind of dumbing it down. But Y the Last Man is really good as well, if you're a fan of Walking Dead. Nigel says, my question for you is if you play a top-line video game based off one of your 4 fantasy sections in Sucker Punch, Samurai, The World of War 1, Steampunk, Dragon, or Robot Train, which would it be? I'd have to choose Baby Doll's Fight with the Samurai. I'd probably say the same. I thought the Samurai section would be awesome for a video game, because we already have dragon-based games that are medieval RPGs. World of War 1, Steampunk, Zombies, Call of Duty. Why would we need that in a video game? Robot Train was pretty cool. I don't really see how that could make actually a really good video game too. But I'd have to agree with you. Samurai Fight would be a pretty badass game. Riley71 says, I noticed you're a big horror fan and was wondering what you made of the Rob Zombie's Halloween remakes. And also, what was the first game you ever finished? First game I ever finished would definitely be the original Super Mario Bros. On the NES. I mean, I could finish that game as a kid. I can't finish it now. For some reason, it's so much harder now than it was when I was a kid. Go figure. But I am a huge horror fan. If you didn't know, I do a weekly show called Spooky Hour Horror Hour on allgames.com. It's a live show. It's recorded as a podcast and later put up on dreadcentral.com, where we talk about horror stuff. My take on the Rob Zombie Halloween remakes, I loved the first one. I thought he really encompassed what Michael Myers was, but also made those movies his own by giving us a little bit more insight on who Michael is and what happened to Michael in the psych ward and everything. I thought the first Halloween remake was amazing. The second one was pure shit. I'm sorry. I'm a huge Rob Zombie fan of his music and his films, but Halloween 2 was awful. Why was Michael Myers, most of the time, he was just a bearded, homeless redneck. He ate a dog, and the stupid flashback dreams with his mom and everything. Halloween 2 was not Michael Myers. I don't know who that character was, but it wasn't Michael. Halloween 2 would have made a great film if it wasn't supposed to be a Halloween film. It was a real big disappointment for me. So if you're a Halloween fan and you haven't seen the remakes, watch the first one, skip the second one. And last question for today is Nelson St. James. And he says, I'm curious about how many games you buy a year. Also, what is the longest that's ever taken you to finish a game, and what was it? How many games do I buy a year? I don't really know. That's hard to answer because I would probably think about how many games I play a year, which is an insane amount. But a lot of them I get as a press release. Like Dead Island, I got that game through a press release, meaning I get it early so I can have the review out by the time the game is released. And I do get a lot of games that way because I am video game press. But there are some games that I do end up buying myself, and I don't know how many I buy a year. A lot, but I don't know. I wish I could give you a better answer. Your question was, what was the longest it ever taken you to finish a game? I'd probably say over 30 hours, maybe. I don't know which game it was, though. I'd really have to go back and look. But I think I put over 60 hours in Dragon Age 1, but that's because I've played it through 4 times. So I guess maybe that game, just with multiple playthroughs. Well, guys, thanks for watching another episode of Ask Rachel. If you have any questions for me, at all, go ahead and email me at rachelmoore@gmail.com and put the subject as Ask Rachel. Also, make sure to give my Twitter a follow because I do give away free codes and occasionally video games on my Twitter. It's just @TheRachel. And hope to see you guys there. And thanks again for watching this week. And make sure to tune in next week. Anyways, love you guys as always.